Hey everyone, and welcome. When you think about AI in the classroom, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably some kind of super smart homework machine, right? Well, what if I told you its role is changing in a really, really big way? Today, we're going to see how AI tutors are evolving from being simple answer machines into something much more profound, a guide for our own thinking process.
So let's start with a question that's probably on your mind. Is that all this is? A smarter, faster way to get the right answer when you're stuck? You know, for a long time, that's pretty much what it was. But that is changing, and it's changing fast.
And to really see what I mean, we're going to dive into two amazing real-world case studies. We'll start in Japan, where AI is becoming a language partner. Then we'll jump over to the United States to see how it's becoming a guide for critical thinking. Trust me, these two examples paint a really surprising picture of what's coming.
All right, first stop, Japan. Now, you know how hard it can be to learn a new language, especially the speaking part. You need someone to practice with, you need to feel confident, and it takes a ton of time. Well, some universities in Japan are trying out a totally new kind of practice partner.
And what they're doing is pretty clever. Big universities like Waseda and Kansai are testing out these AI conversation partners. But here's the key. The whole point isn't about memorizing words or drilling grammar. Nope. It's all about actually speaking, having a real dialogue. It's about giving students a totally safe space to just talk, make mistakes, and build that fluency without any judgment.
So, what's the ultimate goal here? It's simple, really. To create a language partner that's incredibly cheap and available anytime, day or night. Just think about that for a second. No scheduling conflicts, no feeling nervous about making a mistake in front of a real person. It's like having a tireless training buddy on call 24/7 just to help you build that conversational muscle.
And don't think for a second that this is just some tiny experiment. It's actually the start of something much bigger. These university trials are just step one. Japan's Ministry of Education is already making plans to get these AI dialogue bots into elementary and middle schools. So we're talking about a huge, system-wide shift in how they teach languages right from the very beginning.
Okay, so that's the practice partner model. Now let's jump over to the US and see the next big step in this evolution. If Japan is about creating an AI to practice with, this next one is about creating an AI to think with.
So, let me introduce you to Khanmigo. This is an AI tutor from the nonprofit Khan Academy, who I'm sure you've heard of. And their entire philosophy is right there in the description. It's designed to guide students, not just hand them the answers. And that, well, that changes everything. And just like we saw in Japan, this is not a small thing. We're talking more than 200 school districts across the US that are already piloting Khanmigo. That's a huge number. It shows you there's a real hunger for a different kind of AI in the classroom, one that does way more than just check your homework.
So what does it actually do? Well, here's the magic trick. Let's say a student is stuck on a tough math problem. Khanmigo won't just solve it. No way. Instead, it'll ask something like, what do you think the first step is? You see what it's doing? It's using that Socratic method to gently nudge the student, to make them think and figure out the path forward for themselves. It's not tutoring the answer, it's tutoring the process of getting to the answer. Okay, so we've seen these two really different approaches. Let's put them side by side and really map out how this whole thing is evolving. This chart lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have the Japan model, the practice partner. The goal is conversational fluency. And the method is simply simulating dialogue. The AI is basically a tireless training buddy. But then, look at the Khanmigo model, the thinking guide. Here, the goal is the critical thinking process itself. The method is asking those Socratic questions. The AI becomes a thoughtful mentor. It's a huge leap, right? From just doing something to learning how to think about it. So really, the whole journey looks something like this. Step 1, the old way. AI was just an information provider, that fancy answer machine. Step 2, it became an interactive partner, like we're seeing in Japan, which is perfect for practicing a skill. And now, step 3, it's becoming a thinking guide, a true mentor that helps us shape how we learn in the first place.
So, why does any of this matter? Because this isn't just another cool tech upgrade. This actually changes some of the fundamental rules of learning. Let's wrap up by looking at what this really means for all of us, students and teachers alike.
So what's the bottom line here? First, AI is becoming a thinking trigger, not an answer key. Its whole job is to get your brain working.
That means the focus is shifting away from AI replacing what we do and toward AI guiding how we think. And that right there opens up incredible doors for deeper, more personalized learning. And this is so important. It's a powerful assistant for the teacher, not a replacement for them. It frees them up to do the high-level mentoring that only a human can.
And that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. In a world where an AI can patiently guide a student through the step-by-step process, what does the role of the human teacher evolve into? What becomes their new superpower? It's a fascinating thing to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.